The story of Job. Job was a wealthy and upright man who lived in the land of Uz. He was known for his righteousness, integrity, and deep reverence for God. He had a large family, 7 sons and 3 daughters, and was blessed with great wealth, including thousands of livestock and many servants. One day, a conversation took place in heaven between God and Satan. God praised Job's faithfulness, but Satan argued that Job was only righteous because of his prosperity. To test Job's faith, Satan proposed that if Job lost everything, he would curse God. God allowed Satan to test Job, but he forbade him from harming Job himself. In a series of tragic events, Job lost all his possessions, his servants, and all his children. Despite this immense loss, Job mourned but did not sin. He said, "The Lord gave and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord." Job 1 verse 21. Satan then challenged God again, claiming that Job would break under physical suffering. God permitted Satan to afflict Job with painful sores from head to foot. Even then, Job refused to curse God. His wife urged him to give up, but Job replied, "Shall we accept good from God, and not trouble?" Job 2 verse 10. Job's 3 friends Eliphaz, Bildad, and Zophar came to comfort him. However, their speeches blamed Job, suggesting that he must have sinned to deserve such suffering. Job maintained his innocence but began to question why God allowed him to suffer unjustly. After a long and intense dialogue, God answered Job out of a whirlwind. Rather than explaining Job's suffering, God questioned him about the mysteries of creation, demonstrating the vast gap between divine wisdom and human understanding. Job realized the limits of his knowledge and responded with humility and repentance. God rebuked Job's friends for their incorrect assumptions and required them to make sacrifices. Job prayed for them, and God accepted his prayer. In the end, God restored Job's fortunes. He gave him double what he had before, blessed him with more children, and granted him a long life. The story of Job teaches several deep and enduring lessons. 1. Faith amid suffering. Job remains faithful to God even after losing everything: his wealth, children, health, and reputation. This shows that true faith is not based on circumstances, but on trust in God's character. 2. The mystery of suffering. Job's story reveals that suffering isn't always a result of personal sin. Sometimes, the reasons for our pain are beyond human understanding. This challenges the idea that good people always prosper and the wicked always suffer. 3. God's sovereignty. God is ultimately in control, even when life feels chaotic. The dialogue between God and Job reminds us that God's ways are higher than ours and that we may not always understand His purposes. 4. Humility before God. When God responds to Job, He doesn't explain why Job suffered but instead reminds Job of His power and wisdom. Job responds with humility, acknowledging his limited understanding. 5. Restoration and hope. The story ends with Job being restored, blessed with more than he had before. This gives a message of hope. Even in our darkest moments, restoration is possible through faith. Don't forget to like and click on the subscribe button to follow for more interesting stories.